the theme is
Good morning from Pisa. So today we're just gonna explore two cities, main cities here in the Tuscan region in Italy. But first, how did we get here? I saw a £60 worth ticket back and forth to Tuscany, and I found myself here in Pisa Airport. And from the arrival area, just find the signs towards the PisaMover. Just go straight and into that side of the airport where people goes directly. Just follow them. Most of them are locals. It's a bit of a walk, but hey, it's better than nothing rather than booking an expensive taxi ride. And we found ourselves onto the terminal of the PisaMover shuttle. On the bottom floor, you can see details on how much is the ticket. It looks like it increased to €650 one way and €13 back and forth. And on top, you'll find the machines. And for me, I just booked a one-way ticket because I'm not sure if I'm gonna use the tram coming back. So here's the machine. Naiwan ako. They just left me. But no worries, because another shuttle will come by every 10 minutes. And with that, we just have two stops. The parking area and into the central station. It will take about 15 minutes ride from the airport and into the central train station. And with that smooth ride, we find ourselves into Pisa Centrale. Some people take the train, go straight to Florence from here. Since our accommodation is just near the train station, it's just a little bit of a walk. And with that short trip, we're ready to call it a night and prepare for the day tomorrow.
La mattina seguente.
We are now in the main street. I think this is like a shopping district here in Pisa. So why is Pisa well known other than the tower? So it was once one of the strongest maritime cities here in Italy for the whole Mediterranean. Same as level as the Amalfi Coast, Genoa, and also Venice. But that was back in the day. And right now, it is one of the strong main points here in Tuscany. And just like over an hour here, Florence can be found, which is like the main capital of this region. And today, we're heading to the well-known place if we're gonna talk about Pisa, which is the Leaning Tower. Just like about 24 minutes, or you can take the bus actually. You can use a top in, top out with your card or phone. But I chose to walk around. It's 7 in the morning. There's so much to see. And there's not much people around, so we can move freely. Now, this city is divided by the river Arno, just right here, passing by a bridge. So what you see here, a lot of graffiti, partially. So yeah, people just going back and forth, doing their business, starting to work, and some of the tourists are just about to leave. I think there's nothing much to see here in Pisa except for the tower and the Duomo, and you know, and chill and enjoy the pasta. So other than that, about 10 minutes away from here now is the tower. And another fact is that this place is the birthplace of a well-known person, a physicist, an astronomer, an ancient astronomer, a guy that goes by the name of Galileo Galilei. So another fact here in Pisa is what can be found here is that it's where one of the oldest universities in whole Italy is founded here. It was founded in 1343, the University of Pisa. Now, if you ask me, what do I think about Pisa so far, is that I can compare it to a neighboring region, which is Campania. I've been to Naples, and I do think it's like a tamed version of Naples. In Naples, it's very chaotic, like everywhere there's something happening. In here, it's very laid back, and maybe I'm just talking too soon because it's early in the morning and most of the people are just starting their day. But so far, it has this vibe. It's like merry Naples and also in Rome. I don't know. I think it's just because of the vibe. I think the streets are quite ancient because you're gonna walk in a pathway, then all of a sudden it disappears. There's no pathway at all. I'm walking in a narrow edge of the wall. See, kind of reminds me of Naples because people are just rushing like the drivers, well, except for the horns beeping all the time. I think it's one of the busy roads here. I was just walking along this little maze around here, and all of a sudden, it just stood out like out of the blue. The tower, right there. Gorgeous, ain't it? And we're just passing by a place where people are posing for the perfect shot. Like this couple. It's strict around here. That's why everywhere is green. Because do not step off the glass. And there's a fine. Look at that. 25 euros fine. Lord, just for walking or stepping in the grass. So I booked a tour here. I think we're gonna go inside the tower. The tour will start around first thing in the morning at 9. And by the moment, I'm just gonna grab a coffee, have a light breakfast, because afterwards, we're going to Florence by train. It's about an hour and 20 minutes trip. And we're gonna see 2 artistic masterpieces down there. That's it. We got a Pomodoro. Even their shot glass is leaning. They actually have like a statue of the wolf with 2 babies, which signifies the founders of Rome, Remus and Romulus. Well, they mean wolf in Latin. Really, if you can remember in Harry Potter, Remus Lupin, the representation of a werewolf. Yeah, just out of there. Anyway, we're in the complex again. We're just gonna do a little walk around because it's quite too early. And we're gonna do like Insta 360 and see some statues around here. So this is like the, trying to read, Palazzo Opera del Duomo. I guess that's the name of the cathedral. There's like a fallen angel statue here. It is a fallen angel by Angelo Codotto. The building right in front of us, right there, is the Baptistery. So it was built and designed by Giovanni and Nicola Pisano. And it's quite intricate with this marble, I think it's made of marble. And with all the faces up there, they said they're like, the statue is supposed to like depicting like some kind of a dance. And I don't see it, they're quite still. And sadly, some parts of the tiled roofs are missing. I think it's just up for retouch sometime. Yeah, because in parts of Duomo, the cathedral, it's actually closed. They're doing some renovations. I think maybe at some point they're gonna do the Baptistery thereafter.
Built in 1152, the construction began in 12th century. It is dedicated to Saint John the Baptist, hence its Italian name Baptistery di San Giovanni, the largest baptistry in Italy. It has a circumference of around 107 meters and stands about 55 meters high, older than the famous Leaning Tower of Pisa. It took centuries to complete. With a mix of architectural styles, the Romanesque while later parts show Gothic influences. It has a surprisingly impressive acoustic. The enormous circular interior creates a remarkable echo. The dome has an unusual shape. From outside it appears rounded, but internally its structure is quite complex.
And I just read, so there's like the cathedral, the Duomo. I think this is the Baptistery. And also, somewhere here is actually a cemetery. So it's like a complex of different buildings around here. We'll try to explore more.
The Baptistery is a little bit older than the tower that is within the same neighborhood. In the Square of Miracles, it is about 20 years older than the tower.
Now, according to tradition, Galileo was told to did an experiment here. So he placed and studied the motion of a lamp swinging inside this cathedral, just to study the principle of pendulum. I'm not sure how true it is. If they question his experiments in the tower, we'll never know. It could be like a fallacy again, false belief. Anyway, famous physicist, this just worked in wonders back then. We're actually surrounded by a wall. Brick walls all over with parapets. I'm not sure if we're allowed to walk around it.
And the next site needs no introduction. And here it is. Probably the world's most famous architectural mistake. The construction of the Leaning Tower of Pisa began in 1173, and it started leaning before it was even finished. The problem wasn't bad architecture, but the soft ground beneath it. Centuries later, engineers managed to stabilize the tower, preserving one of Italy's most recognizable landmarks.
So why is it leaning? So back then when it was built, it was perfectly fine. It was never meant to lean on one side. So when they discovered how many layers has it been, that the soft ground cannot support its weight. But throughout the ages, the engineers has found ways to find a way to tilt it a little bit back up just to support the people inside. So it's much safer these days. Like for the 100 years, people are going inside. And on this ticket, it shows, I'm not sure if you can see, but I'll do a screenshot. That's where the buildings you are allowed to enter, because you just have to, you're gonna pay more if you're gonna see the Baptistery. And Camposanto, and also a museum nearby, a couple of museums. Yeah, so we're only allowed to do the tower and cathedral. Fortunately, bag is not allowed, so I have to leave it somewhere. Hopefully there's like a deposit bag, like a counter. I'll try to ask. So, leave our bags here. So place 19. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, cheers, thank you. Just dropped. I didn't know it printed something. Good thing that guy just gave it to me. So yeah, so if you get a ticket, just scan it. Mine is just via PDF, via phone. And immediately after your tour, going up the tower and also the Duomo, of course, you have to go back and scan it again for free. Or is it included with the payment of your ticket? I believe so. Anyway, we're gonna queue now.
But how did they stop it falling? This is where modern engineering comes in. By the 20th century, the tower's lean had become dangerous. Engineers carried out a major stabilization project between 1990 and 2001, carefully removing small amounts of soil from underneath the higher side and using other structural measures. The tower was successfully stabilized and is now considered safe for visitors like me.
Now here's the proof that it's leaning more on one side because of a weight right here. See that? So it started from the center on the top, and there's a long string that's leaning here. Physics or gravity? Don't know.
But why does it lean? The main problem wasn't really the tower itself, it was the ground underneath it. The foundations were relatively shallow, while Pisa's soil contained soft layer of clay, sand, and water-saturated sediments. As the enormous weight of the tower pressed down, the ground settled unevenly. The result? One side sank more than the other.
It's about 58.36 meters high, and it's quite hollow in the center. And there's a staircase that surrounds it. We're climbing a tower now. And the stairs, there's a bit of a dent on the very tip of each stairs. I think it's been used for how many years, like centuries. It just wear off. And that's why. Oh my god. It feels like you're having a vertigo. It's weird. Because if you're gonna climb on the side where it's leaning more, it feels like you're being drawn to that side. Okay, here we go. So, feel right. As you can see, I think we're on that side where the angel statues. Really, we're leaning on it. Yeah. So it's a warning already for those who want to come in and do a little bit of exercise. But there's like a vertical feeling. So we had spinning for a short while.
After making through the circular staircase at the top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the experience is more about the views and the architecture than having lots of attractions up there. But first, I have to catch my breath. And now the panoramic view from above, you can see the city stretching out around you, with its red tile rooftops and historic buildings. Piazza de Miracoli from above, you get a fantastic bird's eye view of the cathedral and the Baptistery directly below. With the unusual tilted floor, you can actually feel the famous inclination when walking around the top. It can feel surprisingly strange. The marble columns and arches. From the upper levels, you can appreciate the elaborate Romanesque architecture and repeated rows of columns. And the views toward the Tuscan landscape. On a clear day, you can see beyond Pisa toward the surrounding countryside.
There's another spiral case. It's got hidden. Mind your head. So it is a belfry, which is separate from the main cathedral. There's like 5 bells here. Oh my god. It's really weird. I'm like having a vertigo, like... Yeah, that's one of them. I have to tread lightly because there are small stairs and down into the fence. Fortunately, this place has some now who needs a drone shot if you can see much of Pisa from here and a 360-degree view as well. Oh my, it's really nice. From afar you can see that this region is just very green.
I can't help to notice that there are about 7 bells, which represents the 7 notes of the musical scale: Assunta, Cruciata, San Ranieri, Dal Pozo, Pasquariccia, Terza, and Vesprozio. The bells aren't simply decorative, they historically serve as a way of marking the hours and religious services for Pisa's cathedral and surrounding community.
Right, just some facts. So this tower is designed by Bonanno Pisano, and sarcophagus bearing his name is later discovered around 1820, suggesting that he may have been involved. Some scholars believe that it's this guy due to Salve designed the Baptistery of Pisa that contributed to the tower's design. So the construction began in 1173 and proceeded in stages over nearly 200 years. Imagine, after the tower began leaning due to unstable soil, later builders adjusted the upper floors slightly to compensate, giving the tower its characteristic, the curved appearance. Now you tell me, because I can feel that this curved appearance is just affecting the physics of those who go by is walking into the spiral staircase. I think I have a vertigo after that. Weird. Really. It's not really because going up is a challenge, going down is a different story. That's it. And now off to Duomo, which is like right in front of us. Oh my god, my face is so dark, it's so bright at the back. So, taking my bag, and it will take around maybe 30 minutes before the cathedral will open for the visitors. It opens at 10 in the morning, despite my ticket says it's 9. So we're just gonna look for the gift shop. We're just right beside the luggage area. Just right there, that's the luggage area. This is the bookshop. Just the other side of the wall. €4. Marbles as well.